We're going to go through on this 1960 Lincoln Continental Mark V Convertible and do the underbody, exterior digital paint readings, chrome trim, and do the wrap-up on this vehicle. It's represented to be from California, and based on looking at the bones underneath it, I would say that that's probably true. It's got about 56,000, I think 52 or 56, 53, 623 on the odometer. And judged on the underbody condition, I would say that that is probably appropriate. North Carolina reassigned VIN. And early uniframe body. You'll probably remember in 1958, Ford went to the uniframe, unibody construction on the Thunderbirds and whatnot. So this is a big old Betty to have a unitized frame, but it is pretty cool. So let's get to the underbody, suspension, rear end, exhaust, and all those good things. These tires are wearing reasonably even. A little bit of extra wear on the inside of the tread pattern, and there's a little bit of wear in some of the suspension components. That upper ball joint up there is split. So nothing under here is brand new. Might be safe to say that it has not been rebuilt. It goes down the road pretty straight. We've got some oil seepage present. Car's a little low on oil, but I think actually the seepage is coming from this splice in a transmission cooling line. Is probably what that is, going into the bottom of the radiator, and somebody spliced those and did it that way. And I think that's what's spraying some oil back here. It might be more than that. Might be a front or rear main pan seal leak. Few drops in various places. It's really hard to tell. The suspension though is pretty much the same, left and right. No damage to the control arms. Up under here, the core support or lower frame suspension frame rail is nothing damaged there. At one point in time, a long time ago, the radiator probably overheated and blew some water out there. That's an old stain though. Didn't look like anything that happened today when we were out. Earlier video. This is video number 3, by the way. The understructure of this car is probably one of the highlights. The floor tubs and frame rails, man, they're nice. The splashes are very nice. Both sides look just like that. The exhaust system is older. But on all the corners of the cars, on the car, we have that level of solidness, cleanliness. These rocker moldings have been polished up at one point. They've got a few little marks and pings in them, but nothing really dramatic, nothing you probably couldn't live with. The car isn't very wavy. It's a very, very long, flat panel, so you did see waves in the period, but the paint meter responded well to this vehicle. This is some undercoat that's kind of sound deadener that's peeling. One little mark on a pinch weld that was jacked up. Transmission shifts well. Hard to say where the fluid is coming from. Nothing pouring out of it. It's been here for over an hour, jacked up. I had to spend 20-25 minutes just drying it and cleaning it. From the rainstorm we got caught in on the test drive. The pinch weld all along here is very nice, and the floor pans and rail structure all very stable. Again, that's not steel, that's rubber. Nothing anybody's added recently, I might add. 2-piece drive shaft. I think that's had some service. Seats have obviously been out. Got some nice shiny plated hardware there, but again, both sides of the floor panels look just like that. Back in the rear of the car underneath, the splash pans or trunk drops most people call them. They are very nice. Let's hope my flashlight keeps living. Take a look up there. That is what you want to see. Original drain plugs present. Original ribbing. Nothing's been repaired or destroyed. Frame rails are in really good shape. No evidence this car's ever been smacked. Rear end is not restored, but it sounded good on the limited test drive we took. Rear shocks have been replaced. Rear spring bushings have not. So the car still has a pretty decent little arch to it. I believe the chrome has been replated on the vehicle. It was a while ago, maybe at the time the car was painted. There's a few small marks and just kind of hairline scratches. It's hard to even see those in the reflection. We've got a burnout tail light I mentioned in an earlier video. General light patina on this upper trunk trim. This is probably the worst pitting on the whole car on this extension over the left tail light. The bumpers fit the body nicely. I took a risk and left this hanging out, hoping it wasn't going to rain again. The convertible top operation is very smooth. Glass rear window comes up. They kept that look going on into the early 60s with the Mercuries. And they actually had a power rear window on the back. Not on this car, but on the upcoming Mercury models after that, after 1960. 430 cubic inch motor. All the glass is in really good original shape. I found maybe one little or two little stone pecks here and there, but no major bullets or cracks unless they're hiding behind this. The canvas top is in very nice shape. The mirrors and gaskets are in good shape. The doors have some typical general plating failure. The door handles rather, not the doors. Original car light markings are present. All the silk screenings are present on the glass. Glass is very nice and clear, runs up and down well. All these wheel covers are in good shape, and stock steel 15-inch wheels. There's one ding on this one back here. I don't know if we can see it or not. Yeah, right there, it came out the bottom. So, trim-wise, I don't think much of the trim has been restored. Most of it's original. Like I said, maybe the bumpers were replated. Maybe they're just really good survivors. These belt moldings and sweeps all appear to be original to the vehicle. So to recap, the glass goes up and down, and this power vent window does not open. No major chips or cracks in the windshield. Underbody exhaust, we've got a little bit of a leak. You heard that on video 1. This is video 3. And the exhaust has some age to its appearance. The headlights are coming on. The bright lights did not seem to come on. In the parking mode, the parking lights, I did not get those to come on with the switch at half mast. But the turn signals appear to be working front and rear. Reverse lights are working. I didn't go over this paint and body heavily in my first video. But overall, I would say that this has what I would call parade quality paint. Somebody probably got on it with a wheel, and or it just had some sun fade in the metallic out there in California, and so you see the color hue kind of changing throughout in various locations. You know, as a 10 to 15 footer, looks pretty darn good. And the car is absolutely a sweetheart when it comes to magnetic adhesion readings. This is really good. We got low numbers really everywhere. That's a lead seam, we're not going to count that. 17. Everywhere here I could stick a magnet. 22, 20. And in the areas you can kind of see there's still some good reflection in the paint. So it'd be a good looking car shooting down the road, but there'd be a chance that somebody could pick it apart a little bit if, you know, if you sat too long and they became critical. A little bit of overspray on this bottom chrome, but that's about the only spot I saw any. So a handful of chips and nicks, but nothing too substantial. The earlier video has digital readings, 9.9. So the paint and body, the paint, I would say, you get back here, that's looking pretty. You still see a little bit of color fade from 15, that's about 12 to 15 feet. But it's got a good sheen to it. Nice cruiser quality car. The body is absolutely wonderful. You don't get to see them this rust free very often. Look at those door skins, very nice. Door jambs, very nice. The engine has not been rebuilt. I don't see that the transmission's been rebuilt. And when I first started the motor up, there was a little bit of knocking. We'll run this convertible top. Show the operation of this going. Pray that I do everything right. I'll stop here really quick and we'll take a peek at the trunk compartment. Old bias ply spare that's never been on the ground, but the essential bones down deep are very solid. Everything seems to be serviced and in working order. These jambs are in really good shape. They could stand to be wiped down and cleaned up, but nothing too much to report there. Convertible top frame could stand to be cleaned. So the canvas is nice, the glass is nice. These rubber seals are presentable. They're older, you know, some chipping going on in them, but they're holding up. So to recap, the power windows are all going up and down. The convertible top operation is just fine. And then those boot pieces and that piece of trim go on afterwards. Handful of service manuals. I opened up 3 of them and didn't see anything that was specifically related to this car. We'll go through the interior a bit more. These visors have not been restored. That one's sagging a bit. It could stand to be tightened up. The upper chrome windshield molding, it's in pretty good shape. It's got a few nicks and mars, but nothing too horrific. Internally, the power window switch plate, this vent window switch is not working, and there's some general patina on the chrome inside the car. Some of it could clean up. Doesn't look like anybody really attacked it. Rubber seals you see are older. Seat covers are very nice. These have definitely been done. Seat belts were likely added to the vehicle. And the dashboard shows nice for an original piece. You can see some age in the trim and some color fade in the top. And then this cracking here I showed on earlier on video 1. Steering wheel is in pretty good shape, no major cracks, some pitting in the horn ring. Power seat switch functions, I went through all those, just one of them not working. So the majority of things are working. The fan comes on when you first turn the key on. You can hear that, and it makes a little bit of a growling noise. Wipers work, they're vacuum. The locks work. Generator light, let's go ahead and fire it back up. Let's hope I didn't leave everything on too long. I don't believe the engine's been rebuilt. That being said, I heard a little bit of lifter noise when I first started it up, and there was a little bit of black black smoke. Could be rich burn, could be a little bit of oil, could be a little bit of both, but I ran the car about 2 hours ago. It's not really substantial. I could see it inside more when it was a cold start, so maybe the choke wasn't fully open. Doors open and close, very nice. The engine bay I went through, and the oil is in good shape, transmission fluid's in good shape. All that stuff's been serviced. It's got aftermarket ignition components in it. The trunk we just saw, the transmission we got to take a look at, and all the underbody components. So overall, I would say this is a really decent survivor body, really nice. And if someone were to take it to the next level, which would be to perhaps strip this paint down and repaint the car, boy, you'd have a really, really great car. And even as it sits without a repaint, it's a good driver quality car, with the possibility that you might have to do some mechanical or suspension service, you know, in the future. A little bit of a ripple in this rocker molding down here. I spoke of the rocker moldings earlier, but that is mostly the wrap-up. Jason from Auto Appraise. 3 videos long-winded on this today, but I had to beat the rainstorm, and I think I did it. 800-301-3886, 800-301-3886 if you need an inspection. Usually it's one long video, 25 or 30 minutes. In this case, it's about 30 minutes of video, but all broke up. I don't know if I talked in depth about the chrome bumper on the front. Just general patina, but the fit of the body is nice and nothing remarkable there. The hood ornament's a little bit helter-skelter. It needs to be tied up and the paint's chipped off. I show that in the photos. Okay, thanks a lot.